So today we are going to discuss about conditional statements. Means why we are going to use conditional statement means based on the condition or based on situation we are going to take the decisions. Okay, for that we have different kind of statements. We are going to discuss step by step. Okay, so first one is if statement. Okay, here you can see what is the main purpose of this conditional statement. This conditional statement is used for decision making. Okay, for example, you want to go out. Okay, and if it is raining, you can't go out, right? And if it is not raining, you can go out. So what we are deciding? If it is not raining, you decided to go out. If it is raining, you decided to be staying home. So like that, based on condition or based on situation, we are going to take the decisions. Okay, this is the purpose of conditional statements. So how we can implement that in Python? So for that, we have different kinds of statement. First one is simple if statement. Means what will be there? There will be only one if condition. Okay, like how to say, just see the flow chart. I am going to have one condition here. If the condition is true, I'm going to perform some action or I'm going to execute some state or some statements like that. So see this, if condition is true, then we are perform like we are going to execute this statements block. And if it is false, then we are going to execute a remaining code. Okay, this is simple if condition. Means what we are going to do, um, we are going to take one condition. If the condition is true, perform that action, then just leave that without else. Okay, simple if condition, only one condition. If that is true, we are going to perform some action. Let us see some example here. Okay, so let me first save this one. Okay, my file name is class1.py. So what here I'm going to do, if let me take one name here as input. We already saw, right, how we can take user input. So I'm going to take one user input here. Input, I'm going to take number or like name we can take. Enter name. Okay. So what I'm doing here, if name equals to Python. So to check the equality, like if we want to check whether this is equals to this thing, we need to use two equals. This is one equals to operator. Okay, remember, if you want to check that equality, we need to use double equals to. So what I'm doing, if the name given by me, sorry, if the name entered by the user is equals to Python, then I'm going to print some statements. Print hi, welcome to Python world. Okay, so see what I did here. So I'm just taking one user input that is nothing but string because I'm not converting that. Okay, then what I'm doing, just I'm checking whether the string given by me is equals to Python or not. If that string is equals to Python, then I'm performing some action. Okay, okay, let us execute that. Class1.py. Just a second. So first it's asking me to enter name. So now I gave Python. Means what I got, hi, welcome to Python world. Okay, if I run again and if I give some random name, so you didn't get any code here. See, first time when I give Python here, I got some code. The code I kept here. Means what I did here, if the condition is true, okay, then it will print this statement. Otherwise, it won't do anything. Okay. So this is like how to say normal or basic if condition. If the condition true, you can perform some other actions. If you want to perform any some other actions, you can put here. So just one condition. If that is true, you can perform some action. Otherwise, you yeah, then rest of code. If there is any else code, it's going to execute that code as well. Okay. And this is the flow chart. I'm explaining you again. Condition. Okay, so the condition is nothing but the condition specified by us. If that condition is true, I'm going to perform some action. If that is false, the remaining code, if any code is there, I'm going to proceed with that. Okay, this is normal if. Then if we want to check, if like how to say, okay, I have some like how to say, now we decided, right? If it is raining, we want to go out. So there is, if it is raining, sorry, if it is raining, you don't want to go out, else you want to go out. Okay, there is two actions. If condition is true, one action. If condition is false, one more action we are performing. Okay, two actions, one action for true, one action for false. So see here. So I have one condition here. And if the condition is yes, I'm going to execute the statements within that block. If the condition is false, I'm going to perform some other code, like some other statements. So there will be true. One for yes, one for no. Okay. So just I'm just explaining that flow chart to you once again. So I'm going to have one condition here. If the condition is true, I'm going to execute or I'm going to perform some action. If my condition is false, I'm going to perform some other action. Previously, we saw only one. If that action is, if the condition is true, we are going to perform action. But here, what we did, if our condition is false, we are going to perform some other action. That is, if else. Okay. Okay. So just I will. We can check some conditions here. See, in the same example, I will show you. Print. So what I did, if the string given by me is Python, okay, just print this. If the string given by me is not equals to Python, print this. So here totally I have two conditions. Like sorry, one condition, but two actions. What it is? So if condition is true, one action. If condition is not true, another action. Okay. So for one condition, two actions. So for that purpose, we use if else. Okay, if condition is true, this action, else this action. If we run that, just give Python. See, so now you got the code within if block, because the string entered by me is Python. So that's why we got this code like, hi, welcome to Python world. If I give some other string, what it is, this is not Python related word, because that is in else. Why the why the controller execute else block means I gave manasa string is not equals to this Python, right? That's why this else block is executed for us. Okay, is it clear, guys? Okay, if Python, if the string is Python, one some true statements. If that string is not equals to Python, some other statements. Okay, this is if else. Okay, means if condition is true, some action. If condition is false, some other action. Okay.
Once I know here, sorry to disturb. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
like you can explain one more scenario. It's like so student pass
Mm,
or fail, so that one can understand.
okay.
So you can, that is also fine. You can tell one or two examples, then so that they are able to. So it's the initial classes, right?
Yes, sir. I will take one more example and I will explain you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
Okay. Fine.
issues. Yeah. Thank you.
one thing, guys, if you have any doubts, okay, any silly doubt also you can ask, okay. So don't hesitate to ask any questions, okay. Feel free to ask the questions, okay. Okay, once you can carry on.
Yes, sir. Yes, guys. Normally, if a student get marks greater than 35, then only he is pass, right? Else he is fail. Is it clear? When we are going to tell one student is pass, if that per student marks is greater than 35, okay, then what we are going to tell? Okay, that student is passed. Else the student is fail. So for that purpose, first we are going to take marks from user. Okay, marks is equals to. So marks should be integer, right? So for that, what we are going to use? We are going to use int type conversion. Int input enter marks. Okay. So what I'm doing here? First, I'm taking marks that should be integer type. That's why I convert that to int. Then what I'm doing? If marks greater than 35, then what does that mean? The student is passed. Else print the student is failed. So just now I will give 45. So 45 is greater than 35, right? So what we are going to get? The student is passed. See, the student is passed. If I give 32, so 32 is not greater than 35, right? 32 is not greater than 35. So it will come to else block and the code or the statements inside the else block will execute for us. See, the student is failed. Okay, this is one scenario for if else. Okay, what we did, just we are taking user input for marks and just we are comparing. If the student marks is greater than 35, so execute this condition, like sorry, execute this statement. If the student marks is not greater than 35, then execute this statements. Okay, this is one scenario for if else. This is the flow chart. Okay, this I think you understood. If condition is yes, I'm printing the student is false, I mean passed. And if the condition is not true, I'm printing the student is failed. Okay. Okay, now what we did, we saw just one condition. Okay, if the condition is true, we are performing some action. If the condition is false, we are performing some other action. That's fine. For example, if I need to check multiple conditions, okay, if we come to our grading system, so first what we are going to do, if the student marks is greater than 75, we are going to declare them as they are in distinction class. If their marks between 60 to 75, we are declaring them as first class. If their marks is between 50 to 60, we are declaring them as second class. If their marks between 35 to 50, they are third class. If their marks less than 35, they are fail. So here we have multiple conditions, right? Okay, greater than 75. Okay, they are distinction. And between 60 to 75, one they are first class. Between 50 to 60, second class. Between 35 to 50, third class. Less than 35, fail. So here we have multiple conditions. Okay, and if we have multiple conditions, that is not a good practice to use multiple if else. Okay, so for that scenario, we are going to use elif. Okay, when we are going to use elif, if we have multiple conditions in between if and else. So in such scenarios, we can go with elif. Okay, So first, so just understand this flow chart. First, what I am checking, I am going to take one condition. Okay, for example, this marks, you can consider this marks as an example. First condition is if marks is greater than 75. If the condition is true, print distinction. If that, then if the condition is not true, means that if the student marks is not greater than 75, check the next condition. Okay, then if the student marks in between 60 to 75, then execute the statements. Okay, if the student marks also is not between 60 to 75, then go to next condition. Then what we are going to check there, the if the student marks is between to 60 or not, like that we are checking, and accordingly we are going to perform some actions. So for multiple conditions purpose, we are going to use elif. Okay. So just I will show the same example. Okay. So first, what is my condition? Student marks is greater than or equals to. Okay. What I'm going to print distinction. What is the condition for first class? Their mark should be greater than 60 and less than 75. Okay. So there should be two conditions. So to combine the two conditions, we are going to use and here. Okay, in operators, I will explain you what is the purpose of and or like that such a operators we have, I will explain. But here the mark should satisfy two conditions. One is greater than 60 and then one is less than 75. Then only we are going to tell that person in first class. So the two conditions we are going to merge with and. Okay. If marks is greater than or equals to 60 and marks is less than 75. Okay, so this is clear, right? That person should that person's mark should be greater than or equals to 60 and less than 75. Then the student in first class. Then I have one more condition. What it is? 50 to 60. At the time the person in second class. Again here two conditions. One is that mark should be greater than or equals to 50 and less than 60. Marks greater than or equals to 50 and marks less than 60. Print. Okay. Then for third class, the person mark should be greater than 35 and less than 50. Then the person in third class. Greater than or equals to 35 and marks is should be less than 50. Print. If he didn't satisfy any of these conditions, then what it is mean? He is failed. So finally else and print fail. And one more thing we have forgot here. Okay, here the mark should be less than 100, right? They can't give more than 100. So here we need to add one more condition. Mark should be greater than 75 and less than 100. Okay, just remember. This is already we know. Marks should be always, we are going to count up to 100 only. 100. Okay. So first, what is our first condition? Mark should be less than 100 and greater than or equals to 75. Then they are in distinction. And what is our next condition? greater than 60, less than 75, then they are in first class. And if marks is greater than 50 and less than 60, second class. If marks is greater than 35 and less than 50, they are in third class. Five, if the marks didn't satisfy any other conditions, means any the conditions that we specified, they are failed. So that's why I mentioned that in else. Okay, let us run this. So first we need to enter marks. I will give 76, means distinction. So 76 is greater than 75 and less than 100, right? That's why we got that as distinction. If I give 45, where is 45? 45 is greater than or equals to 35 and less than 50, means they are in third class. See, they are in third class. If I give 8, where 8 is not satisfying any these conditions, right? Not greater than 75, 60, 50, 35, means it's going to else block. Sorry, if I give 8, they are failed. Okay, this is the way where we want to take multiple conditions. Okay, this is one scenario for elif.